Hi, welcome back to the Chasing Tone podcast. I'm Phil Donahue.
I'm Max.
And I'm Oprah.
That's Ofra.
Ofra.
No, check out the new... I'm Travis, but check out the new digs.
I don't think they can see it, though.
Huh?
The cameras are pointing this way.
Oh, yeah. Right. But the GoPro, they got new digs.
That's
So
true.
if you're just listening, we moved into a new building, and there's a stage, which, let's face it, that's where we belong.
It's true. I was born for the stage.
You were born for the stage. But so now you have to check it out on YouTube because I know your interest is so piqued right now.
Yes.
Right? Brian and I said Brax. That's both of you guys.
But no. It's not going to be like Bennifer.
But Brian and I are both wearing red shirts.
It's true. I'm going to be the black sheep, literally.
You got the woolly hair and you're wearing black
It's
sheep.
true.
Trash bag, black sheep.
Why's it got to be woolly?
Yeah. Okay.
If you look under your seats, there's a prize.
Yeah, we're
That's
giving
Oprah
everybody
joke. One for you, Jason.
free CDs, free copies of Max's CD.
Oh. I don't. Terrible.
Remember that time you recorded a CD and never finished it?
Remember the time I punched you in the face on camera?
Yep, I do. Okay, so I don't know where you want to start. A lot of great stuff on here. You want to start with like the intro music one? That's real quick.
Yeah.
So Brian said he's getting a lot of questions of what gear was used on the intro music. That's a song that I recorded, and I believe it was my Don Grosh Retro Classic into a Buddha Super Drive 30. I think I may have boosted it with the Amp 11, but I can't remember. But that sound was real honky and real mid-rangey, and it was kind of supposed to sound almost filtered. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of crazy that a lot of people like it because I was kind of going for a tone that I wouldn't really use. So when the band kicks in, especially when the guitar solo comes, I just switched to it. It was crazy amounts of gain.
It shows that even though a tone like may sound bad, air quotes,
right,
bad, but when you put it in the context of a band,
of a mix,
it can sound great.
Yeah, and it's so cool. There's like literally, I can't remember. It was like 9 or 10 guitars on that song, because one of them was just me muting the strings with my left hand, going chicka 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 on the part like the outro part.
Right.
Yeah, you can hear that. That's one guitar track.
Did you practice that?
I actually had to do it twice because I was out of pocket the first time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This producer I used was crazy about that. But the guitar solo tone was a Les Paul into
Gorilla,
into an Amp 11, into a Kanji, into a Super Drive on the Dirty Channel.
Really?
All kinds of dirt, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Was it almost
mid-range.
fuzzy at that point? Or?
No, it was more mid-rangey because it was real honky. And if you listen to it, it's kind of hard to tell, like you said, within that mix because it sounds pretty good. But when we were tracking it, we were like, "Oh, that's nasty," And I just trusted the producer. He's like, "Trust me, it'll sound good." And I was like, "Whatever, you're the big bucks guy." But so that's quick. That's easy.
Sure.
So another one, let's kind of get in depth on is the Peavey thing. Mm-hmm. Let's kind of talk about that.
We talked about that a few weeks ago briefly about the. We talked about how they did something on TV and. They're on a show. What show was that? You remember?
Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss.
Yeah. And I forget exactly what we said now, but...
Basically, we just said, I think we just talked about, hey, did you see it, and what did you think about it? And the premise of the show, and keep in mind, it's a TV show.
Right. It's a reality show. Which anybody knows anything about reality shows, it's all pretty much... script done in editing.
Yeah, exactly.
They can make you look good or bad depending on what they want to use.
Exactly.
So,
but we got an email from a guy that works at Peavey, and he was very kind. He wasn't like, "Oh, you guys suck." He was just saying basically like, we're not that bad a company.
Right.
This is a great company. A lot of hardworking individuals.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me feel bad for the way they were portrayed, and that. We bought into the way they were portrayed.
Right. Yep.
It's on TV. It's not always
trash bag TV. Nothing.
You said trash bag TV?
Whatever. Semantics.
Should we read what he says?
That's up to you. I'm not good with the words.
You reels good with the words, boss.
So I mean, it's a long email, but I'll cut to the chase. He starts with Peavey has faults to be, some faults for sure, but some of them were accurately represented and some weren't accurately represented. So he goes on to say that arguments started with Peavey's responsible to a board. They're not. Peavey is a privately held company. Hartley Peavey is it. His wife Mary and stepson Cortland are very involved in the day-to-day operations, but they don't answer to anyone. I'm sorry, but they answer to no one. The next charge is that Peavey knew they were going to be shutting down that manufacturing facility at the time that the TV crew was there. They did not know that. They tried every possible way to keep the shop open, even though it was losing money. They charged that Peavey. Let's see. They charged from. Yeah, they charged that Peavey would have started manufacturing overseas well in advance of having to shut down to have inventory. And he says that assumes that there was a backlog of inventory here. We have a warehouse full of stuff, and it was building up. Also, some products were already being made overseas. The company gave those employees a 60-day notice of the shutdown and treated them fairly. And he said, beyond that, I guess most people's gripe is that Peavey is moving the manufacturing overseas. He says this shows a lack of understanding of the state of our industry and economics.
Right.
There are more and more companies building products, and most of it is done overseas. It seems like every other day I see a new pedal or amplifier I've never heard of on YouTube. And there is no way to compete with the Behringers of the world in certain product lines if you're building here in America. The cost of doing it is simply too high.
Yep.
There are just too many people that don't understand the most basic economic principles of the free market of supply and demand. So, I mean, and he goes on to talk about some other stuff, but that's the really relevant stuff about the Peavey thing.
Yeah, and I mean, he makes some great points, and it always goes to shows to go. How do you say it? Goes to show?
Sure.
Come on. But it always goes to show that we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, you know?
Yeah. Always two sides of the story.
I mean, he was talking about moving to, manufacturing outside of America. I mean, that's why we have $200 to $250 pedals.
Yeah.
It is expensive to build in America.
Right.
You know?
And the thing is, though, is what you get with that is you get real people building your pet. Not that, Asians are real people. What I'm saying.
You get fake people.
But what you get is you get people, real guitarists or real people that care about, your tone. People that, make a little bit better money than, say, somebody offshore, and they take a little more pride in their work.
Right.
And you also get with that customer service. And I'm not just talking about us, which, let's face it, it's pretty amazing. But,
You mean by us, you mean me.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a chubby, geeky guy answering your phone calls. That's what you pay $230 for.
But no, I mean, you get a lot more going. I mean, try to call Behringer and ask them what pedal you should play.
Right.
Or what mic you should
or
use.
what type of capacitors they
right,
use.
and I'm not hating on Behringer. I'm really not. But, they probably don't have time for that.
Well, that's just not their gig. I mean,
Ain't
their
nobody
gig.
got time for that.
Their gig is shipping out a lot of pedals. I mean,
Right.
And that's the difference in, like, we're never going to be a company as big as Boss or anything like that. It's just,
Right.
unless we start making $30 pedals.
Well, and that's the thing. You could be. You really could, because, I mean, but
don't have
is
the desire
that what
to.
you exactly?
No, I don't. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah. Oh, snap. Hashtag 50th episode.
Boom.
Boom. This is our 50th.
It is.
Hashtag CT50.
How's it feel being 50, Brian? I mean, it's 50th episode.
We should eat biscuits and gravy or something.
You mean
After this?
No.
Okay, we'll see you guys later.
what do you call biscuits and gravies?
B's and G's, dude.
Trash bag B's and G's.
Trash bag.
Trash bag. Is that the new one?
Instead of
I don't know what
hashtag.
you're talking about.
It's no longer hash brown.
It's supposed to be
Trash bag.
subliminal. You know what I mean?
That was a good band.
That's Sublime.
Oh.
They were on the radio. I ain't got the gonorrhea. I ain't got. That was on the radio on the way in.
No, we
That's a
actually
great
do like
guitar
Sublime.
solo to that song, by the way. Good tone.
And that's how we changed subjects 4 times in 30 seconds.
I just went back to tone. I went
Hash
back
brown,
to
trash
tone.
bag.
Yeah. Hash brown, trash bag. Come on. And here's the thing. I noticed that, the come on thing is taken off.
That's true.
Hashtag COMON. But if you're excited about something, you can put a lot of O's, COMOOOON, but that means you're singing it. Come on, that means something really got you.
That's true.
It's like man, I'm hungry. Come on, we're getting biscuits and gravy. Come on, nothing. You watch, it's gonna take off. It's gonna.
Every time you say that, I think of Crambone.
Oh, Crambone. Crambone.
Tom and Jerry cartoon, man.
But the thing is, too, is the Epedition. And the thing is, too, is if you click on hashtag come on Insta pages, you see a lot of scantily clad pictures of Maria Sharapova. Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
Huh? Just click on it.
Let's throw up on the screen here.
Yeah.
Screen's broken.
Screen. We need pictures of Maria Sharapova. She's a tennis player, and a really good one. You know what I mean?
Coincidence? I wear tennis shoes.
I've once heard of tennis. Didn't you play tennis with me and Britton one time?
No, I'm too chubby to play tennis. Tennis involves a lot of running, and you know how I feel about running.
But I watched it on TV while I drank a beer once.
Yeah, it makes my neck hurt.
Running? Oh,
watching tennis.
The running. It's like, that's terrible. That's a terrible sport. I'm only going to run unless something's chasing me. Then I'm not going to run from it if I can turn around and fight it.
So, like, what about a tornado?
A tornado or a bear, I probably can't fight, so I'll probably run from those.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I can fight just about anything. Like a shark, I'll beat the crap out of a shark.
They say just punch a shark in the face, then it'll stop attacking you.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, a bear will hunt you and track you, and they're terrifying. So, chasing bears, come on. Okay. This is another easy one here, the Changing Springs.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, okay, I have this. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. It's the nicest guitar on the planet.
It's true.
I said it.
It's
Maxwell.
really nice.
Maxwell.
It's a very nice guitar.
It's an unbelievable guitar.
You mean outside of the Telecaster realm?
No, we're talking about guitars. Nice guitar.
And I know you guys don't even have to hear me say it, but I'm going to say it's a Don Gross Retro Classic. And I've been playing this. I got it. Its birth date is June 9th of 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had this guitar for 6 years almost, right? I've never set it up. Stays in tune. It's great. But, well, no, I take that back. I did add springs to it once to make it more like a hardtail.
And how often have I been to get on your case about setting your guitar up?
Whatever. But, But anyways,
guitar, Travis.
it was a little stiff. I was playing a little stiff, especially the trim arm. But, the first thing I did was, obviously I wanted to set intonation, but before you can do all that on a Strat, you have to get your tremolo in order. So I set it up, and I took springs off. And I went from 5 springs down to 3 springs, and it changed my tone.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I swear it did. I know I'm not, and moreover, in different pickup selections, like it was more prominent. Like in the middle selection, it was maybe it sounded the same. I don't know, but in the neck pickup selection,
take them all off and see what happens.
Yeah, hardtail, but it was more open and airy. Like, I don't know. I just liked it so much more.
I was thinking about this last night after you said that. I think I have a theory on that. I think as you're taking away springs, you're taking away mass from the trim block.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's with your pickup selection and everything else. I think that's what's changing.
Exactly. Now. And I mean,
would it be that much mass, though, for springs?
You think about it. I guess you think about like a metal spring. You think about how much tension it's under.
Right.
I bet you that
torque maybe, right?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, you wonder how much it has.
I don't know. I didn't take algebra.
Yeah.
Torque. I got a wrench for that.
Today makes like the 30th year that I've not used algebra.
I've never used this against suckers.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I couldn't believe how much it changed my tone for the better. And let's face it, better is all subjective.
Right.
So it's like, for me, I liked it better, and this is cool. I figured out a way to set my guitar to where it's barely floating, okay? I mean, you can't even, you look at it and it looks flush. But when you pull up on the gear shifter, the G string goes up a half step, and the E string goes up a quarter step. So it's like, it just sounds all. Well, I showed it to you.
It's like a bender, Brian.
Right.
But for Stratocasters.
Yeah. But and Max will attest. I let him play it, and I can dive bomb that guitar.
Yeah, you can wreck that trim and it goes right back.
And it goes right back.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a standard vintage style trim, but man, something about it.
Floyd Rose, eat your heart out.
What about now without the 5 springs?
Yeah, that's wind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, although it went out of tune a little bit on me last night, that one song, but I played some Jimi Hendrix,
Mhm.
and then I just, and Alex Clay, the man behind Wampler Street Team.
Mm-hmm.
Follow him on Instagram. It's just at Wampler Street.
He's
Team.
also moderating our new Facebook page too.
Yeah, the
Or
discussion
forum.
page. Yeah, so it's not really. It's more of a group to where we can interact there.
Yeah, because I don't know, Facebook's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, completely.
So.
But anyways, he sent me. I purchased an Archer off of him, and it's great. But he sent me something. He was like, "Hey, I sent you something else in there that you can borrow. Just play it. Have some fun with it. When I want it back, just ship it back." I was like, "Okay, yeah, cool." And I open it up. It's a tall font Big Muff.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
So I had to take off like 6 pedals on my board to make room for it.
It's ginormous.
The thing's that big. I mean,
so
it's
half of your pedal train
yeah.
or whatever's.
But yeah, so I put that on there last night, and oh man, it sounded great, didn't it?
It's not a killer, yeah.
Yeah, because I've never used I don't know. I've used the reissues, and this one had also been gone through by Machine Head pedals, and they did a mod, and obviously a true bypass mod, but and they listed everything they did for it. But man, it sounded cool, and it was weird because it sounded great running it through 10-inch speakers. I was using a Viberluxes have 10-inch speakers, right?
I think so, yeah. 210s.
Yeah, I think. And then I had a Princeton, a Daisy Chain 2 Fenders, and I was loud.
We were loud, but it was awesome.
Yeah, and Max sat right next to the amps.
Me and my wife sat right next to him, too. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the way home is...
Hashtag tinnitus. but
Max, you got a new pedal here recently, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Starts with the TC and ends with
I
electronics.
did, yeah.
It rhymes with TC Electronics.
I did. Big shout out to Stephen from TC Electronics for hooking me up, man. I got one of those Polytune 2 Noirs. Did I say that right? Noir?
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
Noir.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the black one. It's awesome. I had one of the original TCs and I had some problems with it, and the new Polytune 2s are awesome. I'm getting ready to gig with it this Saturday. So
Friday.
Excuse me.
You have to let us know how it sounds.
So I'm pretty excited. Well, it's cool, man. It has it's only this big. It's super tiny, but it has a ton of features. You could do drop D with it. You can tune all your strings at once.
It does do
cool
that.
thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it does drop D. Then you can also calibrate it for E, A. It goes all the whole spectrum.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
I had 2 Polytunes, both broke.
So I had one of the original ones, but
Serious?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dogging them. They worked great when they worked, and they were really cool. But another thing that was cool too is they have a light sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So as the stage gets brighter,
Yeah.
They get brighter to
that's
make
cool.
up for it. You know what I mean?
That's
So in a darker room, it's going to be a little bit more dim.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That is cool.
I like this one, man. It barely takes any space on my board.
Yeah. See, and that's my problem. I only get so many power spots from my Voodoo Labs, and I guess I could daisy chain, but basically my Polytune stopped working on batteries, and I just couldn't justify the power spot for a tuner. You know what I mean? So I just got one of those cheap clip-on ones.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is they look hideous, number one.
They do.
They look terrible.
Yeah.
And then number 2, if you're playing big stages, they don't work.
Right.
Because if you're trying to tune
Picks it
while
better,
there's a
yeah.
kick drum going, it's going to pick up every vibration. Because that's
Right.
what they work on.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, maybe if you're not playing big stages, you've never experienced it. But, the one time I played a big stage,
I still use a rack tuner.
yeah, my bass player does. My
think they're
bass
kinda
player
cool.
does, yeah.
Big
But-
Korg ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, TC Polytune 2 Nor, because black's color of rock. Come in black and white. That was a joke between, anyways. And then there was a bear chasing me. So there I was.
There it was.
But yeah, get one. They're cool.
I like that's your. Yeah, get one. They're cool.
And Max Jeffrey said so. Max who?
Dude, did I ever tell you about the poster I made for a gig one time? It you know how like you see all these people, like I hate gig posters because all they are is like bragging.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I love people that list their endorsements at the bottom. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? No offense, but like I'm not gonna.
I like it when people list us.
Right? Yeah, I guess. Right? Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Sponsored by Jiffy Lube.
What? What? But you know, people always say like, you know, the best soul singer, and then it'll say Blues Review magazine or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I put who with a question mark and then BB King, and then never heard of him, buddy guy.
Awesome.
And I got more comments about that than I bet you anybody ever did about their accolades. You know what I mean? You know,
awesome.
it just cracked me up. So I'm hilarious. What can I say? Max, you need to take one of these. I'm tired of it.
No way. No questions. It's all free. Actually, here's some questions.
What is it, that one meme where somebody's like, it's like, I've had it, and they throw their paper. They're like, just kidding, it's Thursday. I still need that stuff.
Rules, there are no rules. Put your shirt back on. There's one rule.
Okay, here's a question for Brian. Let's read that one.
Where's it at?
This is a question mostly for Brian. I build guitar pedals as a hobby. Currently, I clone existing pedals and only make small changes to them. I want to start building some original designs. When you set out to design new pedals, do you start completely from scratch or start by tinkering with existing circuits to get the sound you want?
I always start from the tube screamer. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing.
Why wouldn't you?
Especially when I'm working on fuzzes and delays.
Yeah.
No. I always start with the sound. I mean, you've been there from that process before. I mean, it's always about the sound. Like, I think if I take this type of circuit and maybe tweak it this way.
Right.
And it's not like, it's usually not like I'm going to take like this tube screamer or this Klon and tweak it. It's more like I'm going to take this type of JFET gain stage. And then I'm going to maybe incorporate an inverting op amp gain stage. So, I mean, it's
they
more.
all sound different, right?
Yeah, they all sound and react different. So it's kind of like building blocks sort of thing.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like Legos.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that for the layperson, correct me if I'm wrong, because basically I kind of took it and ran with it after you told me this, but you said it's basically like building blocks. So, for instance, JFET gain stage is one block. It's your blue block. Sure. And then you have, you know, whatever, your op amp, that's your red block. And then you can mix those and build those together. And then you have, you know, an active EQ or active treble, then a regular, you know what I mean? So basically it's a combination.
It takes a lot of playing with those blocks to figure out how to get what's in your head out.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's cool, man.
I mean, that's the only way to do that is basically just to
steal Brian's notebook.
Just quit your job, live as a hermit for a couple years, and do nothing but breadboard.
Yeah, breadboard.
Yeah. So
hashtag CT50.
I mean, there's guys that start. I mean, there's a lot of companies out there that start with existing circuits or basically just straight up copied an existing circuit.
And a lot of them, I'm not going to mention any names, but one guy, you know, I sat down, he has a company, and they make great stuff, but I sat down in front of their board at an amp show, and I said, so what's this? He goes, take a wild guess. Mm-hmm. He was like, it's green. You know, and I was like, is it a tube screamer? He said, pretty much. You know what I mean? He was just like, he's like, it's my take on things. He was like, he's like, if you want the original, buy the original. If you want my take on it, buy my take on it. You know, he was really cool, and it was cool enough that, like, as a business sense, he was just like, yeah, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. You know, I'm just trying to make pedals that I think sound great and pass those along to people.
Right.
So, but, man, this is a good edition. We talked about stuff, right?
Yeah, 50.
We discovered what to do if a bear's chasing you.
Yeah, run.
Or carry a really big handgun.
You know what you do? You run down a hill because bears' front legs, I've researched it. I'm terrified of bears. I have. When I went to Tennessee, I carried 2 guns with me when I went to walk the dog. Yeah. I'm terrified of dogs.
Or you just have a chubby friend. That's why we're friends. I'm bear bait.
You bear.
You don't have to outrun the bear. You just got to outrun me.
Yeah, I'll just give you a swift knee kick.
Our friendship's been a lie. And, hashtag bear bait.
Hey, we went to Tennessee together, and I never used
That's
you as
why.
bear bait. No, I did
why
not I invited you down so you would cook burgers, and your wife would make that delicious pasta salad.
It is pretty good.
Oh my God, it's a meal. It's pasta salad, but I don't care what you say. It's a meal. It's not a side.
Yeah, that's kind of why I have a weight problem. That and Little Debbie's and Hostess. But that's a story for another time. Just tune in next
Hashtag
week.
OCPs.
OCPs.
Oatmeal cream pie. Yeah. Dude, my hashtags are getting out of control. Somebody actually used hashtag Hep C the other day.
I saw that.
I'm wondering if we should, next episode, we should like count up how many times you had different hashtags.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We had see how many
I
hashtags
bet we could get Bob to do like a hashtag count.
Ting,
So each
ting. Throw it up on the screen, Bob.
But oh yeah, how to get away from a bear?
Yeah.
Bears' front legs are shorter than their back legs, so if you run down a hill, tumble.
They go past you, basically.
Yeah.
So then
I
you
mean,
go
they're
back uphill.
Yeah, exactly. They're waiting for you at the bottom of the hill.
Right.
But they've learned to ride like unicycles, so now they're mobile.
Oh, I know, dude. They're progressing.
It's true. And they can
Alligator
juggle.
run sideways or zigzag. Get away from them.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. I got an alligator story for another time.
Yeah, maybe in the 51st
51st episode. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, post them in the comment section on YouTube, or send Max all your questions at podcast@wampledpedals.com.
Boom.
Boom. But actually, you get those.
We both get them.
You get those.
I like to read them.
Yeah.
I like to do the reading.
Enter it, monkey.
So also leave us a review on iTunes if that's where you download this podcast. Yeah, man, I think that's it. Instapages. Check us out on Facebook and Instapages, Chasing Tone Podcast. That's it, right?
Meerkat.
What's the meerkat?
Google it.
For Travis and Brian, I'm Max.
And I'm Oprah.
Thank you.
You forgot to say thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.